Alright, what we have here is the Scrubba. And I believe this might be a newer version, because on this version there is a twist to release valve instead of the typical plastic squeeze nipple. And that was a frequent complaint on the reviews that I watched about Scrubba, was that the valve sucked. It was a pain to use. So it'll be interesting to see if this is any better. It certainly looks like a better system. I've used that on air mattresses and things of that nature. But anyway, what we're going to do here today is a head-to-head test. Scrubba versus regular dry bag. They're about the same size. The Outdoor Research dry bag's a little bit smaller, but I'm going to put the exact same thing in it. We're going to do about a shot of generic laundry detergent, a total of 3 socks. All of these socks have been worn. I took these 2 socks, smeared tomato sauce on them about 5 days ago, put them in a Ziploc bag. You can see it's now a science experiment. Mold is growing on these socks from the moisture of the tomato sauce or juice, whatever it was. Then we have 2 white t-shirts. I've smeared some grease on here. This is grease from a rotisserie chicken. So this should be a pretty good test. Whether having the Scrubba with the scrubbing board on the bottom of the dry bag really makes any difference than just doing everything in a traditional dry bag. So I'm going to get to it, and I'll be back here shortly. Alright, so I did 3 minutes of agitating, and then I did a 3-minute rinse. I used hot tap water for both cycles, and I found a couple of things. An ounce of concentrated laundry detergent like that is way too much, but alright, so let's look at the articles of clothing here. So left side Scrubba, right side generic dry bag. So I mean, neither one is really acceptable, but you can see the Scrubba did get off a little more of the mold. The stains a little bit less, the tomato sauce stain. I mean, this might have been too much to expect, because I had these socks marinating for 5 days with the stains, and it grew that mold on there. So I'm not even sure what a real household washing machine would do to these. But the Scrubba definitely got a little more of the stain and the mold out. Both got rid of the chicken grease stain. So that's pretty nice. I didn't let that stain set in too long. It was maybe about 15 minutes before I did this test. And then just the other socks that were part of this, they all smell fresh and clean regardless of which washing bag I put them in. So it's hard to say. I think that, you know, in terms of, you definitely could get by with the dry bag. It's getting stuff clean. It'll probably take odors out. If you're really doing something, like there's a YouTube video of a guy who's a wildfire firefighter, and he uses the Scrubba, and I could see, you know, maybe you do want the Scrubba for that application. You want to have the scrubbing board that's on the inside of the dry bag to kind of help work out sweat and grime and stuff, whereas the most you can really do in a dry bag is just slosh it around. You really can't. You can agitate it, but not the same way that you can in the Scrubba bag. But I think just for a normal travel use, probably the dry bag's fine. I don't know that it's really worth I got this for about 37 bucks. I don't know whether it's worth it or not. The other nice thing about the Scrubba is you do have the plastic clear panel there, so you can kind of see where things are. And I didn't try this, but I would imagine that you could maybe position, once everything's in there, you can position a sock like that right on the scrubbing nodules, and that would probably help to work out a lot more, especially of the mold and stuff. So that's definitely an advantage. Having the air release valve, huge advantage, because with the dry bag you can try to get some of that air out, but you're not getting it all out, and having air pockets in there even just makes it difficult to slosh the clothes around. So I don't know, it's a very interesting product. Verdict's out about whether I'm going to keep it, but both work if you need something in a pinch and you don't want to do your clothes in a hotel sink, or you're camping and you just need to freshen up some underwear or something. Alright, I hope you found that helpful.